umetuma salamu, umeleta salamu from the opposition. What is this conversation about?
And I was very specific with the individuals that I mentioned.
Very,
and I thought it should have pricked your conscience. Yeah.
But we know those individuals.
Yes.
They're what you'd call.
And there are some that I have not mentioned deliberately.
Like who?
Like Fred Matiangi. I have not mentioned him.
Why?
I've not brought his greetings.
Ladies and gentlemen, we must collectively agree here that Dr. King of Fred Matiangi is just a step to get out of the opposition completely. The opposition of the arrangement of Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Justin Muturi, Martha Karua, plus many other leaders within the opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I saying this? It started from Kalonzo Musyoka's hint, where he was asked, talk about the political leaders that are within you in the opposition arrangement. And he was asked, what is your opinion about Dr. King of Fred Matiangi?
So Fred Matiangi was the de facto deputy to Uhuru Kenyatta. I didn't interact with him much. So I'm getting to understand Fred Matiangi, right? So I have interacted with Rigi G, and I can tell you that I've actually admired him. Yeah.
That answer that he gave, it's a clear indication that these people are not close. And I did an extensive video on that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today morning, we had actually none other than Ndegwa Njiru, the lawyer to Rigathi Gachagua and a friend of Kalonzo Musyoka, actually a member of the Wiper Patriotic Front Party. This gentleman was at Spice FM. And do you know what he said? Dr. King of Fred Matiangi cannot be trusted.
He's not a man that one can look into his eyes and say that I trust you. And it's a high time we begin this conversation because we do not want to repeat the mistake of yesterday. You remember sometimes back I went to Kameme TV and I said that Matiangi was a project.
Yes, you did.
And I now want to repeat the same situation and the same message. Now, look at the events and the unfolding events that led to the alleged unveiling of Fred Matiangi as a candidate. First of all, he ran away from the country when there was an attempt to arrest him on corruption charges about the Ruaraka land. You remember?
Well, wait, hang on a minute.
Yeah, let me take you through the memory lane. Let me take you down the memory lane. He ran away when there was an intervention by the Kisses leaders. That is when he went to the New York, and he said he's now working with the World Bank. Then all of a sudden, hype is created in the media, and then all of a sudden a man emerges, oh, I won't be the president. Remember, when he came back to Kenya, his case had not been terminated or even filed in court. But even when he was not even seeking for president, at that particular time, the government was pursuing him. Today, the government is cozy. They're not pursuing him whatsoever. It seemed to have forgotten that there was a Ruaraka land issue and there was the Rivayala issue. Nobody is pursuing him. Then when he comes, he starts associating with individuals who are not speaking the language the Kenyans are speaking.
Who are these individuals?
Kenyans are speaking the language of wantam. And then he comes and then he said that, oh, this is going to be the Jubilee presidential candidate. He's fronted by people like Kioni, who once associated with the wantam movement and later left. Then he goes to Kisii. He finds Simba Arati, the governor. He's welcomed, and his meeting is well financed and well greased by the power that be. And all of a sudden we think, here is a big man with big clout and big supporters in Kisii, without knowing the underworks that were taking place for him to be in a position to hold that meeting.
But Ndegwa.
Yes, let me just finish one thing. Then his associates then say, we do not want one term in Kisii. We make arrangements with him, the opposition. When we took the tour to Mombasa, the next tour was supposed to be Narok, Kisii, Nyamira, Western, Kisumu, Western, that circuit. He was in the US that time. He said, okay, musifanye hiyo safari kama sijakuja. So we waited for him. only for him to come and cancel that trip. To date, you see him venturing in the mountain, but he has never ventured in his own, he does not want us to venture in his own town. Now on Monday, you can see what he has done. So we do not consider him as an honest partner. That must be said. Then look at what he does when he goes to Kajiado on Sunday. He addresses a man who has been at the helm of this country in a very disparaging and disrespectful way. He says, mimi ni mfanyikazi, nyinyi ni watu wa mastori. You remember that thing? What he did? And then you wonder, you are a political novice, a political greenhorn, and then you want to lecture those people who have been here and playing the game? He cannot be trusted.
He went ahead to even justify some of the reasons as to why he had said it before on Kameme TV, that Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi is a project actually. So this gentleman has not said it once. This is now the second time, meaning it's a conversation that is within the opposition leaders that are against Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi. A very clear indication. So ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Today's NDC that was held, it was also attacked yesterday by Cleophas Malala. And you know what Malala was talking about? Jubilee being a red wheelbarrow for President William Samoei Arap Ruto.
Hata kesho nasikia kuna wheelbarrow ingine ya red inakuja. Kesho wanazindua wheelbarrow ingine. Munaijua?
Meaning is confirming Ndegwa Njiru's words that Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi is a project of President William Samoei Arap Ruto. Up to that point, ladies and gentlemen, we can now state it categorically that Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi is probably the odd one out. On this particular channel now, on this video, I want to take you through on the 3 statements that I was able to come up with from these particular events that have occurred in relation to attacks to Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, please take a second or two to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Without much wasting of time, allow me to dive into this topic here, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much for those who've been supporting my channel. Thank you so much for the subscription that you make. I'm now heading to 15,000, and I really appreciate your humble support. Let me dive into this topic here today. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1. As we speak today, from all these attacks that I'm seeing right, left, and center, I think the opposition leaders are not close. In that, Kalonzo Musyoka, Matiangi, and Gachagua, they are not having proper conversations as per to people who are in the same team, which means they are now doubting Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi seriously to be a project of President William Ruto, or to be having his own plans that do not include them in his plans. So in a nutshell, they are not close. Recently, we had George Natembeya also speaking in relation to the Malava seat. And George Natembeya was speaking on TV, asking Rigathi Gachagua to drop the candidates they have for DCP in the by-election of Malava. Ladies and gentlemen, that was not ideal, in that coming on TV to share such kind of sentiments. This was supposed to be done by Eugene Wamalwa, where he was going to sit in an NDC or maybe in a meeting with Kalonzo Musyoka and also other leaders like Rigathi Gachagua. Then they agreed that, checking on how things are, the candidate of DCP, of DAP, that is Seth Panyako, is much more stronger than all other candidates. Therefore, kindly drop your candidate and support him, just like you did in Mbeere North. But now, we had George Natembeya going on TV to say that not for the first time, but for the second time. Where at first he had done it on on radio, where he was asking Rigathi Gachagua not to vie for president because we'll make William Ruto a 2-term president, which it was not ideal as well to do on that platform. And I can conclude here then that the same way Natembeya is operating is the same way Ndegwa Njiru is also working, and Cleophas Malala. And these people seem to be against each other, meaning Natembeya could be some talks with Dr. Okengo Fred Matiangi for a coalition towards 2027. And ladies and gentlemen, that takes me to the next observation that I made, that it's clear now we might be having 4 horse races in 2027. William Ruto at the top of the list. Number 2, Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo coalition. 3, Dr. King of Fred Matiangi, and whoever might pick, probably from the Mount Kenya region. 4, we have retired Chief Justice David Kenani Maraka. So these are the people who are going to be on the race, unless they reach somewhere and decide now, let's work together. And I'm feeling strongly this is going to happen. Considering the way Uhuru Kenyatta said, and the way things are happening right now, there's a likelihood that things might not change. In that, in politics of Kenya, once bitten, twice shy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do an extensive video that who will lose and who will win when it comes to the 2027 general elections, in case Dr. King of Fred Matiangi goes alone, Kalonzo Musyoka combines with Gachagua and other opposition leaders to go it alone. I'm going to share on that. But first of all, let me take you to the second or the third observation that I made. This is it. There are deep issues within the opposition that are yet to be resolved. When I listen to Ndego Njiru, he's saying that even before Dr. King of Fred Matiangi had postponed them, had told them to postpone the journey to the coastal region until he comes. Upon arriving, Dr. King of Fred Matiangi decided to postpone it. A clear indication that Dr. King of Fred Matiangi had an issue with the journey to the coastal region. And when they had an opportunity to, as opposition candidates, it was not conclusively discussed but the reasons as to why he cancelled his journey to the coastal region. A clear indication that these people have issues that are yet to be resolved. And probably these are the ones Ndego Njiru is aware. What Kalonzo and Gachagua are aware of? These people are not in good terms. I don't know. Probably you can correct me on the comment section. Also, if you consider when Mukisa Kitui was appointed or maybe elected by the opposition leaders as the spokesperson of that team, we saw how Malala came out to speak. And let me tell you, that could have been a message from Rigathi Gachagua that we are not comfortable with Mukisa Kitui. I don't know what is your take, but in the comment section, let's engage. My number is always here. Feel free to call me so that we can be able to share on issues that concern Kenyan affairs, especially on politics. I've started interviews. Please feel free to also call me if you are in Nakuru or you are in Nairobi and you are a leader, you want me to have you on interview. I'm ready to come to where you are so that we can engage. See you next time for more videos.